We don't back down, this is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing up. Legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. Raise up a white flag. Didn't come this far just to turn back. The curtains fall for the last act. Breaking that levee, breaking that levee. We don't back down. This is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing up. Legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. We don't back down, this is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. We're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see. We're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing up. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. Legendary.
I got metal running through my bones, a resurrection like a ghost. Hurricane, go ahead and blow. Where you could keep your white flag, I'll never fold. A shadow on a battlefield, a survivor never yield. A thunder, go ahead and shade. Don't run from the storm when I feel the rain. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. I got a fever in my blood, a falling embers from above. I feel the heat when the pressure blows, a wildfire that you can't control. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. With every beat on my heart, I'll be the light in the dark. explosive.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The #1 premier Northwest Series iRacing program in the world is ready to go. It's a new season, season 11. We're at the Virtual World Center of Racing at Daytona International Speedway. We welcome you to the first of 2 nights with the lid lifter of 2024. Tonight is qualifying and the duels at Daytona in preparation for tomorrow night's Daytona 200. Welcome to iRacing on LSRTV and simulcast on CRN, the Community Radio Network. I am Wesley Outland, humbled, honored, privileged, thankful to be back with you for now my 5th consecutive season on play-by-play, joined alongside my buddy Alex Robinson. Alex, we're going to have fun, buddy. I know you love super speedway racing. How intense is the lid lifter? And it comes right out of the gate for these trucks at Daytona.
Daytona. It's, again, Wesley, we've done it all the time. We love super speedways. You know this is my favorite time of year. Daytona, well, now Atlanta as well, and Talladega. The 3 biggest things are super speedways, bump drafting, teammates, all come into play. And don't forget about fuel play as well. Won't come into management tonight as much as it will tomorrow night with a lot more laps added onto it. But tonight, still some strategy. And I think it's just going to be knock some rust off for some of these teammates. Get ready for what has in store for this season.
It's going to be very, very fun, no doubt about it, obviously. As real quickly, we do take a look as Charles Wooten is our man behind the box, as always. One of the new things about this series, there will no longer be a fast repair. Good or bad? Alex, no repair, 100% fuel, 4 tire sets, obviously. 2 attempts at green-white checker tonight after qualifying. 2 30-lap duels. But most importantly, my friend, no fast repairs.
It's going to play a big factor into especially racetracks like these. Short tracks, not as much because everyone expects it. Here, it's one of those when it wrecks most of the time, that wreck is going to cause you a lot of damage, a lot of time in the pit area, if not costing you the night of racing. So, no fast repairs. It's going to play a big factor into the strategy that these drivers have to face tonight, tomorrow, and throughout the rest of the season as well.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting for sure to definitely see how all this shakes out as the checkered flag is about to be waved over the field, and we are about to go into qualifying here. Now, it says it's about an hour and 15 minutes, but honestly, I think qualifying could probably go a lot quicker than that. Obviously, again, tonight's race is the qualifying and the 2 30-lap duels around the virtual Daytona International Speedway. If you're not familiar with Daytona, it is 2.5 miles long, the tri-oval on the front straightaway, the long Daytona super stretch, the banking, of course, at 24 degrees as they'll climb it up there to 24 to 28 degrees. And obviously, again, just kind of iterated on this at Daytona. It's going to be banked. It's going to be fast. It's going to be intense. And it's going to be a matter, Alex, of when you can avoid the big one. Do we see a big one tonight? That's the question. Is it even smart to end up tearing your truck up in the duels tonight to have a bad qualifying starting position?
Well, and the big thing is with this racetrack, you always see a big one, even if they're not trying to push it. It's one of those where just one little wrong bump causes someone to go around, causes a few cars to get collected. So it's one of those of, it can happen no matter if you're trying to push it or not. It's just one of those where time will tell, especially starting spots here, of who starts where the teammates start. Like we talk about all the time, strategy is going to be key here. But we've seen the dangers of teammates when one starts 10 positions up from the rest of the team. They're trying to get together, and it causes a little bit of a bunch up at the start.
Oh, yeah. And let's bring in our producer, director extraordinaire, ready for another year. Charles Wooten, happy Sunday night to you, buddy, from Daytona.
Yes, it's been a long weekend. I forgot to tell y'all how qualifying was work. I don't know if they mentioned it to you. But for the fans out there watching, if you know what number your driver is, and for you too as well, since I forgot to mention it, I did talk to the league, and for this year, they are going to go in chronological or descending, or I don't know, one way, descending, I believe, based on car number. They're going to go in car number order. So like 00, Kevin Smith, 8, 9, they're going to go in order to make it easier. So if you know what your number is of your driver, you kind of know if we're on, 25 and he's 27, he's going to be coming up next.
Well, that is a very good piece of information. Thank you for relaying that to us for sure. We needed that, Charles. Chronological numerical order. I'm trying to help you, brother.
One of those big words.
He said, I don't know. He said something I don't understand. We'll be back with Qualified. Let's take a break. We're back with more in a moment. This is iRacing on LSRTV, CRN from Daytona. We are so glad you're with us. It's a new year for the Northwest Racing Series.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Drag race to the line!
Welcome back. So much for chronological numerical orders. I'm understanding people are jumping out of line. Maybe they didn't go to the driver's meeting. This is iRacing on LSR TV, and here comes the number. There might not be a 00 to a 1 to 7. That might be the case. Alex, here comes the number 8, Mr. Nichols. Mr. Nichols is out there. The DuPont colors of the number 8 machine. One lap qualifying. That's it. Alex Robinson joins me up in the booth. Alex, what are they looking for around the 2.5 mile here at Daytona to get one lap on the clock for qualifying? That's all you get tonight.
And one lap play, it's different because You got to think, every time you're so used to 2 laps for qualifying, now you're going 1 lap for qualifying. That out lap, you got to build as much momentum. You see him go around the top side in that opening out lap before the green flag, but now we build the momentum up. We're going to the bottom side here, right around that yellow line. That's going to be your quickest way around here. But if you miss 1 mark, or say you don't go to that top side on the out lap, and you might see different guys with a different mindset on it, but most of the time, if you don't go to that top side and build the momentum out, you miss that mark, you might be ending up in, say, position number 30 out of qualifying here tonight. But you see Nichols right there, Gary Nichols showing it right around that yellow line on the bottom side is the way around here as soon as you build up momentum throughout this race.
Let's see where he ends up. Qualifying a premium and very important to at least decide where you'll be in the duels. And right now, Gary Nichols will climb to be the first man to come out, 51.882. He'll set the bar, 51.882 for that driver of the number 8 machine. 1 lap qualifying. It's late night in at least the East Coast. West Coast is still nighttime. Taco Bell is always a great sponsor, and it is the Bell Grande man, Roy Grande. It's for Toyota number 11 out to qualify, Alex. I love the new colors this year, by the way.
You see right here, Grande doing exactly what we're talking about. Goes right to that top side there, Wesley. And it's one of those where we can see it on our timing and scoring. It's one of those where it's going to be keeping your eye on the sector times, to be honest here. Because if you mess up in turn 1 and 2, we'll see it very quickly. And if you mess up one sector or another, say turn 1 and 2, you mess up, it's going to scrub off a lot of time, especially at a big super speedway like Daytona.
Certainly keep an eye on that. Now we'll see what his lap will be. Roy Grande crosses the line, 52.160 his time in that Toyota. Here comes the number 21 machine. This is Tyler King. Tyler King, obviously, ready to watch what this driver can do in the Nicole Bryan photography entry on the racetrack.
So King a little bit slower so far. King a little bit slower than we saw Grande and Nichols on their qualifying efforts here. So we're going to see Ken the 21 possibly gain some more speed here as he comes out of turn number 3 and 4. And again, it's one of those where 51.882 is your quick time right now. Tyler King's timed lap, he will go second quick, so he did pick up some speed there, 52.092 for Tyler King.
Never keep an eye, always watch Tyler King. Definitely one of those guys that has paid his dues to be one of the drivers to for sure watch in the Northwest Racing Series. Toby Ritters as well. Clifford is back. Ready to watch the number 23 machine. The Bomb Speed Click It RV win racing entry. Obviously qualifying 1 lap. That's all you get on the racetrack. 1 lap qualifying. And you got to find a good premium here to get a good lap on this track, obviously, Alex.
And Toby Ritters, go back to last season. Super Speedways, he was always one of those sneaky, quick, sit mid-pack throughout the race, but then all of a sudden, when it comes down 20, 30 laps to go, Toby Ritter's always in the conversation for a podium, if not a win here. And let's see Toby Ritters on his qualifying efforts. He will go to the top of the board, 51.669. So Toby Ritters now top of the board.
What a way to make a presence. What a way to make a presence. Here comes Jeff Stabnow, Billings, Montana driver. Been a long time since we've seen him. He told me yesterday via the phone, he literally unpacked the iRacing rig yesterday and today to get prepared for the season. No lie. Jeff Stabnow, the man with the most starts of anybody in the series. Besides, there's one driver right behind him, close to 400. Sean Brightsman will make start 395. Jeff Stabnow, his 429th start here at Daytona. Averages usually 7th or better. 40 wins in the Northwest Racing Series, including, obviously, top 5s and top 10s. Pretty decent for the man right there. In the number 24. LSRTV CRN Ford, here he comes across the line. 51.369, top of the board. Will it last for the man of Montana's Jeff Stabnow?
25 Ryan Bloom on the speedway now, and Wesley, talk about Jeff Stabnow. You looked at how he was going around turn 1 and 2, and you had a feeling that he was going to be close to Toby Ritter's time. And then out of turn at number 3 and 4, you saw the time there on the current lap, and you saw it was going to be super close. And to say how close it was, 51.639 is your quick time to a 51.669, your second quick by Toby Ritter. So that just shows how close these two drivers were in times here. But Ryan Bloom right now looking to see if he can join them on a top 3 spot here on his qualifying efforts. And Ryan Bloom will go quick time, 51.532. So Wesley Outland, just like that, the last 3 drivers have topped each other for the quick time.
Ray Fournier on the racetrack. We'll see what Ray Fournier can do as he is by himself on the speedway. Here's a driver that's really looking to try to just be consistent, if you will. Start number 158 here at Daytona for the Northwest Racing Series for that driver. 5 top 5s, 45 top 10s for that driver of Ray Fournier. Never a win. I want to correct that because in years past, Alex, he at least won one of the dual races here at Daytona, but not a premier Northwest Racing Series feature. Here he comes, working through the tri-oval, down to the line. Where will Ray Fournier end up? He will be 5th. 52.077 seconds for the number 26 Ford.
And again, Wesley, just like we said, it was just a little hiccup there in turn 1 and 2. You saw him go up a little bit more than I think he would like in turn 1 and 2, and that kind of cost him some time there. What possibly could have been a top 3 effort in qualifying puts him 5th with a handful of cars still yet to go, like the 27 on track right now of Paul Newton.
There is a lot of drivers left to qualify as Paul Newton ready to roll out here. And remember, the way you qualify, if you're not in the front row, you're at least going to the duels, which are coming up next. Those twin 30 lappers as Ray Fournier, we just saw him finish qualifying. And Ryan Bloom just went to the top of the board and bumped Stabnow to second, 51.532. The Texaco Haviland colors of the Ford number 28. Here is William Fletcher, Alex.
Wesley, why did you make it sound like there was an awful long list of drivers yet to go? We're knocking these off pretty quickly here. Again, the 28 of William Fletcher on the track right now.
I mean, it is single truck qualifying, okay? Usually it's like done in 3 minutes. Now we got like at least 20 trucks left to qualify. Yeah. It will fly by, though, quickly, though.
And we got to give credit where credit is due to race control, making this go very smoothly here. As you see, William Fletcher has already clocked off his time here as he goes to 6th quick on the board here with that 52.063. And again, we look at how race control is making it work here. One driver takes the checkered flag, and the next driver already starting his first and only qualifying lap, and that's a 30 of Ron Hunter. So again, qualifying moving at a pretty good pace here. keeping it going here as Ron Hunter now looks to be the next driver here. Everyone, I think, watched those first 3 cars hit the track and now took what they got because Ryan Bloom, Jeff Stabnow, and Toby Ritters, those 3 have stayed put on the top 3.
The Hunter Performance Motorsports entry. Ron Hunter, the number 30. Here he comes to the tri-oval. Let's see where the 30 will end up. Wants to turn things around, obviously, for this year, and what a way to make a mark. He'll be 4th in qualifying for the driver, Ron Hunter. Ron Hunter making his 63rd Northwest Racing Series start last year, or overall in his career, 2 top 5s and 7 top 10s. Chad Malik is up now, and he's got some new looking colors for his 61st Northwest start here tonight at Daytona. What a beautiful looking truck there, Alex. I like it.
One of those color mixtures that you don't see a lot in racing, but it's one of those when you always see a pink and blue, it always looks good.
Driver there, Malik, with 1 top 5, 9 top 10s in his overall Northwest career. Malik will qualify 4th. Here comes Tyler Kim, truck number 38, ready to roll onto the speedway. Tyler Kim will be making his 59th career Northwest Racing Series truck start here at Daytona. 1 top 5 and 6 top 10s in his overall career with the Tour.
After Tyler Kim, we'll have 21 trucks left to go here in qualifying. We'll have 12 trucks to take a time after Tyler Kim. 21 trucks still yet to take a time here for qualifying.
Yes! I told you there was at least 20-some-odd trucks left, Alex. You made it sound like it was about to be done, like over. Boom. Nah.
It's not that many.
I'm messing. Look at this. Here we go now. Here comes Tyler Kim. Let's see what this man can do for qualifying. Tomorrow, the Daytona 200 airtime on CRN and LSRTV will begin at 11:15 Eastern. Charles, am I right, Charles? 11:15 Eastern Standard Time. That's 8:15 Pacific. 11:30. We're live at 10:50. Ooh, we have to talk about that. Joshua Marcy. I thought it was 11:30. Joshua Marcy. Let's see what Marcy can do as he works in that 35 machine. Tennessee colors on that truck, obviously. One of the men there that's a big Volunteers fan. He's ecstatic that they're in the Sweet 16. Let's watch what Marcy can do in that 35. Ryan Bloom, Jeff Stabnow, Toby Ritters, Chad Malik, Ron Hunter, top 5. Kim Nichols, Newton Fletcher, 48, top 10 in qualifying, Alex.
And Wesley, one thing that's interesting to point out over the past few drivers, Tyler Kim was one of the top speeds at 182 miles per hour, was one of his top speeds. Roy Grande's top speed was 184, almost 185. But yet you see Bloom and now Marcy goes second quick and top speed of 178. So again, it's one of those, it doesn't matter how much speed you have, you've got to hit those marks. If you miss those marks, you're not going to have the speed. And it shows right now, 181 was the top speed for Ryan Bloom. 178, 181, 179, and 183 was your top 5 in their top speeds. But again, still, 184 was the quickest speed so far, and that's sitting at the bottom of the board of qualifying.
Dennis Moore. Bomb speed, click at RV, win racing number 44. Let's see what he can do in his Chevrolet. Thundering down to the line of the tribal. 51.578, and he will climb to second. Win racing on the front row. It's like deja vu all over again last year between Win Racing drivers. And look at that. Unbelievable. Here comes now Carl Burt, the legend. We'll see what Carl Burt can do in that number 53 machine, Clyde's JRM Motorsports entry. Carl Burke will be making his 260th career Northwest Truck Series start. 29 career top fives, 59 top tens, and still no wins for the driver of the 53. Could it be this year, Alex Robinson?
Burke will go 10th quick on the board here, so 15 cars have taken times here.
Robert Gamble is up now, the number 54 machine. Optimistic to have a big year for this driver. His 99th career Northwest Truck Series start. Man's got 10 top fives, 33 top tens, but has never got a win in the Northwest Racing Series truck division. Could it happen tomorrow night? Here he comes down to the line. Gamble. 51.940, 51.940. That will put him outside the top 10 of the Aerokinetics entry at 11. Dan West Jr., truck champion, cup champion, you name it, this man has done it. Alex Robinson out of Shelton, Washington. Here comes the 55, Effective Web Solution Chevrolet.
Wesley, the interesting numbers that are coming in here from your top five, when you look at it, when you split those, half of the track into those sectors, we were talking about the sector speeds.
Yeah.
Top five, that second half of the sector, that second half coming around to the checkered flag, 25.7 is about the times that you want to be in if you want to hit the top five. But again, you still have to hit a 25.8 is the average in your top five in that first half. And right now, Dan West Jr. just showed it yet again, as first half he was 25.892 and then 25.7. So again, it shows you want to be in that 25.8, 25.7 range if you want to lock in to a top 10 spot here.
Dan West Jr. just wrapping up a qualifying 45 career wins. Start number 278 at Daytona, 149 top fives and 214 top 10. Here comes Chris White, former Cup Series champion. Let's see what he can do. New number, new wrap job on the 56. Chris White on the speedway now. Driver looking to make career start, Northwest 314 tomorrow night if he can clinch in. 16 career wins, a former champion as I mentioned. The driver with 149 top fives and 214 top tens. 131 top fives, 218 top tens. Coming to the line. And White, where will he end up? He is 8th. 51.701 seconds. Stephen Paulison got a new wrap job and colors for the new year, Alex. He's on the clock.
Wesley, there's one thing that I would love to see in this. I love the single truck qualifying. It's actually one of those where, especially one lap, if you notice, it challenges the drivers a little bit. We always say, make qualifying count. Here you have one lap. You can only make that one lap count, and you got to throw down your best lap you possibly can. But again, I want to see, it's one of those. I would love to see more trucks, more series when they come to super speedways qualify in groups, because you got to have a little bit of draft. But remember, if you make contact, your lap is invalid here. So it would make it tricky for some of these drivers, possibly in another curveball, possibly for a super speedway.
Dan Lowther, truck number 63, here he comes. He'll be making his 165th start of the Northwest Racing Series tomorrow night. He has 2 career wins, 19 top 5s and 54 top 10s. Kind of a up and down year in the One Fine Studios last year for that Ford. We'll see what he can do here as he works to the corner. Right now, the time to beat, set by, of course, Ryan Bloom, Dennis Moore, Win Racing on the front row. And here they come to the line. Let's see what Lowther can do. Setting the stage for the Twin 30 Duels at Daytona coming up next in preparation of tomorrow night's season lifter in the Daytona 200. Lowther under the top 10. He's in 11th. 51.818 seconds. He has got to pick it up. He'll have to do it in the duel, Alex.
So 20 trucks have taken time so far. 12 left. Wesley, 12 left.
A dozen trucks remain. Justin Yee is back. Good to see the Abruzzi Racewear Ether number 64, Justin Yee. Ran some starts with us at the beginning of the year. Was right there along with, of course, Cole Raz and Caden Anderson, and then they kind of fell off. We'll see what Yee can do. And Yee, 51.605, 51.605.
Fourth quick.
Not a good, that's a pretty good qualifying run there. And one of the greats of the Northwest Racing Series, the legend as well as Carl Burke, our buddy Frank Harris. The 77. Could this be the year for Frank? Start number 338 for him at Daytona tomorrow night, Alex. 10 top 5s, 80 top 10s. Never a win on the Northwest banner. Could it be the year for the 77?
And Wesley, we always talk about the one thing I love about super speedway races is it is anyone's ball game here from start to finish. It doesn't matter if you lead lap number 1 or lap number 10. And all that matters is when you take that checkered flag, it's anyone's ball game. It could be anyone's feature win. And let's be honest here, after 200, whoever wins that has a good momentum to start the season off.
All right. Up next, here is Chris Kynes, the number 88 Mountain Dew. Do number 88 colors. Chevrolet. Chris Kynes, what's he going to do this year? An up and down season, Alex, last year for the driver, Chris Kynes. Ready to see what he's got for the new season here at Daytona. Nice way of saying it. Everybody's got a new shot on the reset with the new year.
Ninth quick
40th.
on the board here.
Ninth qualifier, my apologies, Alex. Chris Kynes making his 40th start. 3 top 10s in his career in the Northwest Series. That's it. Scott Hutchinson is ready to roll. The number 91 machine. As I was saying, Alex, it's a reset. Everybody's got a chance to start over. It's the new year.
That's the one thing you got to always remember. Best way to start the new year is Daytona. And, for some of the guys that might not have made the playoffs, had a tough year, you take what you learned last year, you come back stronger, better. You had a whole offseason to get a mental break, also prepare, and come back a lot better, a lot stronger, and a lot faster right now as Hutchinson will go 24th quick. So we're coming to the final 10 trucks, I want to say, here in qualifying.
Bryce Clark, he is ready to qualify now. Ready to see what this driver can do. Another driver that's returning with the series. Reiterating the top 10 in qualifying for the Daytona 200. For iRacing on LSRTV and CRN, Ryan Bloom, 51.532. Dennis Moore second, 51.578. Dan West Jr. is third, 51.592. 51.605 for Justin Yee. Joshua Marcy is fifth, 51.618. Frank Harris, Jeff Stabnow, Stephen Paulison, Chris Kynes, Toby Ritters. Bryce Clark will at least be in the top 20. He'll turn a 51.954. 51.954. Kenneth Garber up. This will be truck start Alex number 98 for Kenneth Garber. At Daytona, the driver of the number 94, Kenneth Garber. He's got one win to his credit. 17. Count them. 17 top fives. 45 top 10s. As he wraps up qualifying, here comes now Troy Daggett, the 99. Ready to see what Troy can do as his 159th Northwest start will be tomorrow night at Daytona, Alex.
Leslie, we've seen the ups and downs of this racetrack just in qualifying. Remember, the first few trucks, it was a slower racetrack. Mid-time comes, track got quicker. Now we're about back to where we were in stage one of this qualifying session.
Sure.
It's going to be interesting to see if anyone can top Ryan Bloom or anyone in that top five, for that matter, possibly here. As Daggett looks good here coming around to the checkered flag. He might put my words here, and he'll go sixth quick with a 51.622.
Chase Carrillo. Car number 125. I believe this is a new driver on the Northwest Racing Series. Maybe a couple of starts in years past, but not one of the full-time contenders. And he works into turn number 3. Must be a fan of Starbucks coffee like many others to get their pick-me-up in the morning. See what Carrillo can do as he comes down to the line. Let's see where he ends up in qualifying. Welcome to the Northwest, Carrillo. And Carrillo will go 22nd. Got to definitely be mid-pack in the duels for that driver there. Obviously, that time for the 22nd starting spot, 51.988. Less than 5 trucks remain. Russ Lundberg digging the hair. It's back again for another year, Alex.
I love the hair. That's probably my favorite hairdo. And the truck that disqualified past, though, I think the Starbucks truck wins my heart 100%.
Russ Lundberg on the track qualifying. Here he comes off of turn 4, coming down to the line. Looking at the stripe. 51.805, 51.805 seconds for Lundberg. That's good enough for at least the top 20. He's in 16th. 41st career truck start for Russ Lundberg tomorrow at Daytona. And of course, no top 5s, no top 10s, no wins for the driver, Russ Lundberg. Here comes the Cat Man. He says the man, it's the Cat Man. James Vining is in the house in the 321. You notice he's changed his numbers too, Alex. He used to be very famous for the 333.
It's a new year, Wesley. Trying to change it up.
The Catman, James Vining, working down to the line. Let's see where he'll end up. Making his 211th start at Daytona tomorrow night. He'll end up 20th in the duel somewhere as he'll finish up with qualifying for James Vining. No wins, 10 top 5s, 51 top 10s. Here comes the Walla Walla Washington Chevrolet, the Click It RV Bomb Speed Win Racing. 00, here is Kevin Smith, ready to qualify. Never disregard how competitive, Alex, Kevin Smith is, as he has grown in the competitive streak with growing win racing with the team up on the front row and in his own driving ability in the iRacing Northwest server. Here he comes. Is he there? What'd I tell you? Second for Kevin Smith. Wow. 192nd start tomorrow night at Daytona. 7 career wins, 36 top 5s, and 80 top 10s for the Balsa Win Racing. Here comes Lake Peterson. Always Charles that loves this truck. The Hooters number 9, the Chevrolet of Lake Peterson. And Alex, we remember last year and the years of past how competitive this driver is. Not a full-time racer, but when he shows up, you better pack a big lunch because he's going to take your chicken wings from you.
I'm about to say, I don't want people touching my chicken wings.
Oh. 57th career start tomorrow night at Daytona. Yeah, look at that. He just bumped Kevin Smith to 3rd, Peterson to 2nd. 21 wins, by the way, 31 top 5s, 44 top 10s. And a lot of those 31 career wins came in a span of multiple wins in the same year in both the Northwest Trucks and Cup. Here comes a former champion in the Trucks and the Cup from Puyallup, Washington. The number 46, Bright's Boutique LSRTV CRN Toyota. Number 46, I love the teal green colors. It is Sean Brightsman, Alex.
Wesley, we keep the best for last here as Sean Brightsman did everything there of keeping qualifying going now. So now the 46 truck will go 51.662. He will go 14th quick here. So Brightsman 14th quick, and that will do it here, as it looks like no other truck needs to qualify. All trucks have taken a lap.
So it will be the driver of the number 25 for Win Racing, Ryan Bloom, the fast qualifier for the 11th season opener at Daytona in the Daytona 251.532. So remember, if you're used to the duels, Duel 1 will be the inside cars. That's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. That's the odd numbers. Duel number 2 will be the even number cars. 2, 4, 6, 8. So Ryan Bloom and Lake Peterson will be on the front row for Duel 1 and 2. Charles, you have an update here from Daytona as qualifying has concluded.
Yeah, y'all just think I'm a producer. I'm actually cloned myself this over the winter, so I've been running around.
Wear a lot of hats.
Yeah, I do. A lot of hats. So I've been talking to the admin team up there, and they are doing a quick drivers meeting before we go into the duels. Interesting fact. They had it set up to where they have provisionals and all that. If there were 32 drivers or less, we would have had one 30-lap duel. We had 33 drivers, so we just got the cutoff to go to 2 duels. Otherwise, we would have been in 1. So, interesting fact. We literally passed it by 1 driver.
And let me explain something. There is definitely not there's not the big turnout of the years past, Alex and Charles. Charles, I know you'll agree with me. I mean, there's been times when we had 60, 70 cars literally for this series, and maybe it'll pick up because there will be spots open. I think there's still 10 positions available if somebody wants to tag the back after the duels. If somebody wants to jump in at the duels after qualifying, you got a shot to do that. But obviously, Alex, in years past, there's been half the field that sometimes have to be sent home because we only start 40 to 43 drivers. But what I can tell you right now is everybody is going to get a shot to be reset at square one, start back at 1, like the lyrics to the song. They're going to do it here at Daytona, and they are going to get a chance to show their talents, show what they've learned during the offseason to impress the masses of the iRacing gatherers here at Virtual Daytona for the Daytona 200 tomorrow night. Remember that first duel again will be for the inside cars. The outside cars, that'll be for the even cars, the odd cars, correction, my apologies. The even number will be duel 2, race 2, 30 laps. And Charles, let me bring you back in here before we go to network timeout. One of the things we also emphasized on, my friend, is the fact that there is no fast repair in this series this year.
Yes. I did get to sit in on the meeting, so I think I had a little bit of say in that. Wasn't my idea, but I do like it. I do not like fast repairs. It's one of those deals, some days you have good luck, some days you have bad luck, some days you're Danica Patrick and just wreck every race. So it's just one of those things. And yeah, I mean, you have good or bad days, and you just pack it up and come back again the next week.
Alex,
I'm trying to take a moment here. Charles just came at Danica Patrick, and I'm just trying to compose myself right now.
Oh my goodness! Oh, it's the first race of the year.
That quote. I was not expecting that quote out of Charles Wooten today.
Look at that. You left out your Ricky Stenhouse quote?
No, it's Ricky Stenhouse.
Ricky Stenhouse. In his defense, he is a former winner of the Daytona 500, just saying, Well, listen, guys, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we will set the stage for the Duel 1. There is a driver's meeting. We'll thank our sponsors. We'll go extended commercial, and we'll come back from the World Center of Racing. Twin 30 lappers to set the lineup for Monday night. That's tomorrow night's Daytona 200 Season 11. Welcome back. This is iRacing on LSRTV and CRN.
10 years of speed. 10 years of stories. For the past 10 years, we've been more than just spectators. We've been the heartbeat of local racing, growing alongside the tracks, drivers, and fans who make it all possible. From the dusty turns to the checkered flags, we've shared every triumph and every challenge, making memories that last a lifetime. As we mark this milestone, we're not just looking back, we're revving up for the future. We are expanding, bringing you even more racing more coverage, and more ways to connect with the adrenaline-fueled world we love. Our commitment to the local racing community is unwavering, and the next chapter promises to be our most exciting yet.
Drag race to the line!
We're a racing family that you can trust on and off the track. Here at Hercules Foundation Repair, we are here to help with our free in-home evaluations and personal repair plans. So if you're looking for foundation repair, go online or give us a call to schedule your free inspection.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Of speed, 10 years of stories. For the past 10 years, we've been more than just spectators. We've been the heartbeat of local racing, growing alongside the tracks, drivers, and fans who make it all possible. From the dusty turns to the checkered flags, we've shared every triumph and every challenge, making memories that last a lifetime. As we mark this milestone, we're not just looking back, we're revving up for the future. We are expanding, bringing you even more racing, more coverage, and more ways to connect with the adrenaline-fueled world we love. Our commitment to the local racing community is unwavering, and the next chapter promises to be our most exciting yet.
drag race to the line.
We're a racing family that you can trust on and off the track. Here at Hercules Foundation Repair, we are here to help with our free in-home evaluations and personal repair plans. So if you're looking for foundation repair, go online or give us a call to schedule your free inspection.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to the Northwest Truck Series Duels at Daytona. Duel number 1, Wesley Atwood. Not with me right now. So, Charles Wooten, join me here. And all in the front row, it's the 25 of Ryan Bloom to the outside, the 00 of Kevin Smith. Row number 2, it's going to be the 55 of Dan West Jr. to the outside. It's Joshua Marcy in the 35. Frank Harrison, the 77, is going to start inside of row number 3 to the outside. Starting in the 6th spot, the 94 of Kenneth Garber. Row number 4, Chris Kynes in the 88. Toby Ritters, the 23, he will start outside of row number 4. Row number 5, it's Chris White in the 56. Russ Lundberg in the 129, he will start outside in the 10th spot.
And I'll take it from here for you. Row number 6, gonna be the 38 of Tyler Kim. And the 321, formerly the 333 of the Catman, but it's going to show up as the man on your charts here tonight. Row 7, going to be the 54 of Robert Gamble, and the 125 of Chase Carlio. Again, a new driver here in that position. Row number 8, going to be the 28 of William Fletcher, and the 21 of Tyler King. And rounding out the field, hopefully we get to see him race. I know his connection's not always the greatest, so he does not start. That is the 91 of Scott Hutchinson, and it looks like he is indeed rolling off at pit road, Alex. And hopefully we do have Wesley with us here shortly. But yeah, having some connection issues, and he decided to reboot, and well, I think it rebroke.
That it might have. But the show must go on. Daytona, it's always a fun time. Lights are already out here. 30 laps will be the distance here in duel number 1. And Ryan Bloom, Kevin Smith, Frank Harris, Dennis Moores in the next one, Joshua Marcy in this one here. So here we go, duel number 1 on the evening here. A little nighttime action at Daytona International Speedway. Pace car is off, 30 laps the distance. Northwest Truck Series duel number 1, green flag is out, and the 2024 truck season is underway here with duel number 1. Hutchinson Bloom going to lead us down the front straightaway into turn number 1 and 2. They will go, and again, we will keep an eye on teammates that are in possibly with each other here, and see, as you see already, a lot of trucks going to that bottom side of the speedway here, trying to get that draft going early here. As there you see Toby Ritter's already making the move to the bottom side of the speedway here.
And this one's going to get interesting just because, you know, it's not a race. It's a duel, a heat race, as we like to refer to them in the dirt world. I know obviously you're more into the dirt side like myself. But yeah, it's only a 30-lap little stint. No car, well, we could have cautions, no pit stops, anything like that. So this could get real interesting, and you know, hopefully we'll have our fearless leader Wesley back here soon. I know it's detrimental to me. I was in the middle of eating a piece of candy, some Laffy Taffy, when it all went down. So hopefully we can get him back, and I get back to eating my candy. But a good group of guys here, and we talked about it, you know, just how close we were to the cutoff. If we'd had one less driver, we would have been racing one 30-lap race, and it would have had 32 drivers in it. However, we had that 33 driver, which means we bumped it to 2. It broke it up. So now you really get to set the inside, outside, and then we'll have those few guys that maybe have provisionals that didn't show up tonight. I don't think any of those were happening, but room for about 10 other drivers to show up that just couldn't make qualifying. So this can get really interesting as we're already working lap number 3 of 30. So not going to take a whole lot of time. You know, it'll take a little bit of time, but just not a lot with only 30 laps.
And this duel, like we said, about a heat race for us on the dirt side. This duel number 1 here and duel number 2, both duels tonight, more of a feeling out process for some of these drivers here. A lot of updates have happened since that championship night way back when, it feels like. A lot of updates have happened here, so stuff has changed. So it's more of a feeling out process, see how the draft packages are as you look, Manufacturers can change here. Daytona, I remember a few years back, the Ford struggled on super speedways. They were better on short tracks. Now, it might be a little bit different nowadays. But right now, Ryan Bloom in a Chevy, Frank Harris in the second spot with a Ford. Your first Toyota in the field is Joshua Marcy. He's way back in the fifth spot here. So again, manufacturers might play a little bit of a factor here, and that's why the duels are so pivotal to see how these manufacturers, how teammates can run on this super speedway with the draft packages and everything else. But right now, Ryan Bloom leading the way here. You're seeing some of the guys in the mid-pack, they're trying to get back in that draft here. The top side, there's about 3 cars and then about 2 truck lengths between that front pack on the top side and the back side. But up front on the bottom side, say, that bottom lane has a little bit more help with it. And Charles, we always talk about the third lane, the possibility of the third lane here. Will it form in the 30 laps here, possibly late, if somebody wants to get a better starting spot for tomorrow night?
Yeah, you definitely want to get as good a spot as you can, because there you don't really, qualifying isn't that big a deal because of the fact you can really get to the front pretty quickly if you want to, but you do want those good pit stall. You want to be able to pit in those front 10, in my opinion, because those are going to be the ideal spots. You get in those top 5, you can really hammer it out of the pit road without really getting caught speeding either. So those are good spots to have. You don't have that with qualifying on Monday night or tomorrow night. So getting a good starting spot from the duels is the way to do that. So yeah, you want to finish as high as you can, get those good pit positions, and just start with good track position as well, because we know as well as anybody, you can have a lot of problems if you're sitting midfield to back. If something happens towards the front, maybe in the 10th position around that area, a lot of the times the people behind them are going to get caught up in it as well. So you want to be away from all of that as much as possible.
And another factor that might come in, if teammates say are in duel number 2, they're going to watch to see where those teammates land in the finishing results of duel number 1, because they might want to be ending up, they say your teammate finishes 5th. You might want to finish 5th so that you're close with your other teammates here, which would make it a little bit easier to link up tomorrow night in the big opening of the 2024 Northwest Truck Series here at Daytona. But right now, Smith Bloom still leading the way here in your top 2. One on top, one on the bottom there. Bloom, you see, getting some help by the 77 of Frank Harris. And up top, Smith and Marcy. That is how those two are up top. Those are your front 2 on both sides of this grid here. But right now, Ryan Bloom has looked good in the opening few laps here, as well as the rest of the field. As again, not many lane changes either here. And I think some of the guys are trying to feel out, see if that top side is where they want to be. But again, Smith, Bloom, Marcy, Harris, Ritters in the top 5. Toby Ritters, we always talk about him in qualifying. He's one of those guys where he is sneaky quick on a super speedway, and he always finds his way up front here. But right now, Smith, Bloom still leading the way here on their respective lanes.
Yeah, they're definitely, kind of maintaining this. And then, and that's the age-old question when you come to a super speedway like Talladega, Daytona, I dare we say Atlanta anymore. But you've got to choose as teammates. Do you want to get in line and go 1, 2, 3 and try to dominate one single lane? Or do you want to try to dominate the entire race, been doing what they're doing right now, holding the inside and the outside? They're choosing to do that path so they really can control the outcome of this race at this point because they have control over both lanes. Later on in this race, when we have about 5 laps to go, that won't really matter, I don't think, because you'll see somebody make those moves. If they can't get by you on the lane 1 and 2 in the middle and the bottom, they will make a third lane, and they will try to pass you on the outside. So you got to be careful there, not to cause the big one coming in with the last few laps to go. But yes, perfect job maintaining both lanes right now.
And Wesley talked about it, earlier in the night. There are some guys here, this is their first race in the Northwest. They might be looking to make a name for themselves And let's be honest, it starts with the duels here at Daytona. You want to start up front and make that name for you early, but the worst thing you can do is get caught up or even causing the big one here, because that might leave a little sour taste in some of the drivers' mouths. But if you make the money move, you go to that outside, make it a 3-wide race, and you end up winning the duel, it's going to make a name for yourself, and it's going to make a lot of momentum and a lot of noise going into tomorrow night's races.
Yeah, he definitely is, and we're getting reports back from Wesley. He said he is getting aggravated. He actually rebooted the modem, and now he can't connect to his Wi-Fi. So I gave him the Microsoft answer, reset your PC. Unfortunately, thousands of miles away, can't really diagnose, but we'll try to get him back as quickly as can. Personally, I'd rather have him here than me, so he can do the professional job that y'all do, and I can go back to just doing what I do. But hopefully we'll get him here shortly, as these guys are just kind of minding their P's and Q's right now, Alex. Nobody really getting out of line. They're just kind of, they are dodging and weaving a little bit, but that's mostly just so they don't overheat too much, except the 77, who is all over the back bumper of the 25 right now in Bloom. There's Harris behind him in the 77, but yeah, they're just really minding their own business. Nobody's doing anything crazy right now, and I don't blame them. We still got 20 laps to go, but again, 20, we've already completed, let's make it right now. We're working 19 to go, so we are just clicking away laps very quickly.
Yeah, like you said, I kind of wish Wesley was back here, because he's more the play-by-play guy. As you can tell, I analyze stuff a little bit more than the play-by-play stuff, but Ryan Bloom still out in front here. He's led the way throughout here. And again, to compare, we talked about the single car qualifying and how no draft, and it affects the timing here. Just talk about, we were talking about sector-wise. Sector speeds, 23.9s compared to what it was qualifying. We were talking about it back in the 28s, 27s, if you were quick enough there. But now we're into the 23s, 24s, possibly with now some wear and tear on some tires here. As you see, one truck there trying to go make it a 3-line there, but just sadly losing the draft, and he's going to lose a handful of spots as well.
And I'm not sure what in the world happened to Dan West Jr. when he didn't have a caution or anything that would have led to him being there. It says he was in pit road for 1.3 seconds, so maybe he started in the pits. I'm not sure. We'll try to get with him here in a little while. But again, no damage. You can see right there, there's no significant damage that I can see to the truck. So not sure what happened there. It's for him to go a lap down. Unless he got involved with Scott Hutchinson, who is sitting on pit road right now. But I don't see any damage to his truck either. So very interesting that, again, Dan West Jr. and Scott Hutchinson in the 55 and the 91, both, a lap down, multiple laps down for Hutchinson. He's on pit road 6 laps ago. But there was no big wrecks that we saw, no caution that came out. So not sure what happened there as we were watching the main group here, and we'll have to again just talk to him later on. But again, they're out there just Sunday cruising right now, and we can say that because it is literally Sunday, Alex.
Speak for yourself, but it's Monday morning for me now.
Well, there you go. It is 12:15 your time, and it's 11:15 obviously here in Central. For these guys, it's only like 9:15. Their night's still young. Compared to the rest of us.
Yes, Bloom, Marcy, Smith, Harris, Ritter, still your top 5. So again, it's a Sunday cruise for these guys right now. As Ritter's was the only one that attempted and moved a line or two here. Is actually the 35 of Marcy did move down to the bottom line as well here. So now he'll go back up top, and now he takes over that second spot. But really the only moves that have happened in your top 5, Marcy now takes over the top line lead car here over Frank Harris. And the 77 of Harris is now on the bottom side there. That Oregon green and black truck, he is on the bottom side pushing. Toby Ritter's still on the top side, as Ritter's actually drops back to the 7th spot now as that bottom line comes back into play here yet again.
Yeah, bottom line seems to be the dominant one at the moment. We'll keep an eye on the top side, and will we see that third row with the halfway point now? We 15 down, 15 to go. Again, will the top side come in? Will we see 3 wide? Well, that'll all be determined here probably the next 10 laps or so. I think that's when, with about 5 to go, we'll see some guys make moves they might not normally make in a race this early, but again, it's only 30 laps. But we still have a second 30-lap race to go after that one. So that will be, interesting. And, the question I have, Alex, is, typically when we see, double races like this, the aggression ramps up in the second one, but that's usually because it's the same drivers running a second race. Do you think we'll see that aggression in the second one with that trend, or no, because it's a different set of drivers?
It's a flip of the coin, honestly, because you might have drivers, like we talked about the teammates, you might have drivers who need to push it a little bit if they want to start in the pack with the rest of their teammates, or again, you have the young guys that are new to the series that want to make a name for themselves. They want to start up front, and the only way to do that is you got to push. And right now, let's be honest, the guys that are looking like the men to beat right now, especially in duel number 1, is Ryan Bloom, is Marcy, is Harris, and you also have Smith, Chris White. Those are guys that you're going to be talking about come tomorrow night as well when they go 200. But right now, Ryan Bloom, he set the tone early in qualifying, and he hasn't looked back since, as he has led pretty much almost every lap here, just with a few switching back and forth between that top side and the bottom side. Bloom has kept control of the bottom line himself. The 77 of Harris has stayed with him. The only difference was Marcy came down, joined the bottom side for a little bit. He overtook that top spot then on the top side there from, let's say, the 00 of Kevin Smith, who was leading the way on the top side. So again, the only difference really in there is Marcy and Bloom, as Marcy and Smith were the only 2 switches really on that top 5 positions.
Yeah, and I'm curious what happened to Tyler King. He came down pit road. He is taking service right now. He's been there for 28 seconds, so clearly well past the point of coming back out. Again, we didn't see any damage on that one, so we'll check in with him later to see what might have happened. But now another driver. I wonder if these trucks are just overheating. Alex, is they going in there and they're just, again, no damage that's visible that we can see, from the distance we are. I'm curious what is happening to them, but definitely a strange coincidence.
Well, there's a handful of possibilities on top of that. Some of these guys, again, it's a testing tune here. If they feel comfortable starting in the back, maybe it's one of those, let's get a few laps, see how the draft package is, see how everything runs, and then pull it in for the night and call it a night and just watch to see how everyone else is running. It might be one of those. It could also be, again, overheating, blowing a motor, possibilities. There's a handful of different options here, but again, you never know.
Yeah, you definitely never know. And it looks like Russ Lundberg having a bit of a connection issue. And yeah, you can see him there. He's having one of them little blinker fluid issues. Hopefully he gets it straightened out and can finish this race. Tyler King now has officially retired from this race. And, Alex, I've been on the track a couple of times. You've been on the track. Is that one of the scariest things on a racetrack when somebody, accidentally forgets to fill their blinker fluid and they start blinking everywhere on you, right in front of you, especially on a super speedway?
I've been on both ends of that, sadly, and it's one of those not only just for when he's around you, but when it is you, when you all of a sudden see a car pop up in front of you and you don't know what's going on. It's one of those hold your breath and hope and pray for the best.
It definitely is. You do not want to be around it, and you don't want to be that person because contrary to what some people think, and they may not think this, I don't know, we're just making it up, but when you're that person, unless people are telling you, hey, you're blinking, you don't notice it. You either don't notice you're blinking or you think other people are blinking. So you know, the only thing I compare that to, every time I hear that and I see someone blinking and they don't realize they're blinking, I think of that blonde joke I heard years ago, where the husband calls and says she's driving, some person's driving on the wrong side of the road, and we'll get to that later as we're going to pile the entire field up.
Kind of saw it coming.
Yeah, it was bound to happen at some point. We'll take a look. Excuse me. Watch the replay, and it started a little further up. So we're going to take a little bit wider angle. And yeah, this just wadded up the whole front of this field, and no fast repairs this year either. See what happens going down the backstretch. They cut down to get all three of their teammates. And yeah, just right there, just not quite the best pass. It looked clean, but it was nothing intentional. Just, racing happens sometimes.
I don't know how many trucks actually went unscathed in that whole situation either.
I'm not sure myself. We're going to go look here. We'll go from the blimp side with the 94 of Casey Garber. I'm pretty sure he somehow managed to squeak through this one, and you'll see right here, they're going to dip down. They clear right there, but they just didn't clear completely. You see the hook to the back bumper, and it's just unfortunate. Casey Garber woes it up. He makes a little ding there, but he manages to woe it up in time to get slowed up. Man, what a wreck. Pretty much the front of the field was taken out in that one.
And one truck that also, as you see now, here we go. A lot of trucks going to hit pit road here. But talk about one person who I did see, he might have made contact with the wall trying to bob and weave, but he did not make contact. And it's one of those drivers that Wesley mentioned that is a new name joining the field in the Starbucks 125 is Chase Carrillo. He actually avoided all of it there, and I think it benefited him staying back. He actually, I think, lost the draft there before that all happened, and I think it was a benefit, and it was one of those where you thank your lucky stars that you kind of lost the draft because you got to see what was going on in front of you and check up. And now, right now, he is sitting in the fourth spot, plus 10. Rob Gamble Jr., he's sitting plus 10 in third right now. Lundberg, he's sitting in the top spot. So again, one wreck changes the whole landscape of this duel number one on top of the whole landscape of possibly tomorrow's race.
Yeah, and that one's going to be one of the best races of the season, I'm sure, with the Daytona 200. Not 200 laps, thank goodness. It will be 200 miles, which is kind of the standard here for the Northwest. They try to run 200 miles. We're roughly in there as far as laps-wise, and potentially we have Wesley back. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but we might potentially have him back. Well, we'll see if we have him back here momentarily, but I see stuff moving around in his house.
Hello, can you hear me? Can somebody please hear me?
Yeah,
Hello?
we can hear you.
Am I back? Am I back?
Yes, you're back.
Oh, my goodness.
So what frustrated Wesley is back, so now maybe he'll be less frustrated.
So here's the deal. We're on network timeout. My great colleague, protege, whatever you want to call it, Alex, says, there's something going on. You're cutting in and out. So what do? I go and I reset the damn modem. And then I get booted, Charles, and it says that I need to have an update. Well, then the update will not recognize Wi-Fi settings. It's like it disappeared. So I finally had to totally disconnect out of the network, start all over. Never mind. 6 laps to go, race number 1.
And you missed the big one.
Alex, I'm going to let you be the play-by-play man since you booted me out of here.
No, you put it yourself. you missed the big one, Wesley. It took out the entire front of the field.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna
Wesley,
have a
I'm going
drink
to let
after
you be
tonight.
the play-by-play guy so I can go back to my
I
analyst
know.
because I haven't even had time to look
know.
at my whole analyst board.
Well, there you go. Let's try this again. Are we still in race 1, right? We're still in Duel 1?
Yes.
I wish. Oh, no. Yeah. You know what, Charles? I think this all started from you telling me not to update TeamSpeak. Oh. Well, I mean, did you know something that I didn't know? I mean, all right.
So Wesley, I'm also trying to comprehend this. I'm also trying to comprehend how the guy who failed math like 3 times in high school is the analyst and is the numbers guy in calling races. This is
because you're just yeah. I'm actually pretty good with numbers, so we'll try this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come to the line. It'll be a 5-lap shootout in Duel number 1. My apologies for missing the first 24 laps. Let's see how things go here as we're ready for the restart. This will set up the inside front row for the Daytona 200 tomorrow night. And we're back for green. By the way, we're back also live on the Community Radio Network as well. Russ Lundberg up in front. Down to the inside. Stays in that spot. Peterson right there, nip tuck on the bottom. Here comes Kynes will follow. Here comes the machine of also Carrillo. Gonna follow this guy here, Alex. They're gonna go 3 wide again. Boy, they ain't wasting no time, and they're in the wall. Carrillo in the wall. Oh no.
I think there was a few more. I think every car, Wesley, got contact on that caution on the big one there. Carrillo tried to avoid it, and I think what he did, he hit the wall hard, and that might have damaged his car a little bit more than we thought it did. But now again, there's also, you see, almost everyone. We'll give it 80% of the trucks on the speedway right now, on the bottom line of the racetrack here. And I think we're in conservative mode here, and wherever we are is where we are for the final 4 laps.
Remember, 2 attempts at overtime, if need be. 2 attempts. Right now, less than 10 miles remain down that back straightaway. Robert Gamble up in front, the 54. Up 12 spots. Lake Peterson right there in tow. The outside lane will now work as well. Let's see what Ryan Bloom can do. He'll carry Kenneth Garber on the outside. Here comes Kynes from the top to the bottom, jumping out of line. They're going to go door to door as they come to the line, and 3 to go. Alex going back to 1.
So here we go. Now we're back to the double file racing here that we come to accustom at Daytona International Speedway. And one truck who was majorly damaged and involved in that one, who was leading until the caution came out, Ryan Bloom in the 3rd spot yet again. But Wesley, this is the first time Ryan Bloom has come from that bottom line. He ran that bottom line right against the yellow like we expected him to for that whole time. Now he's up top trying to lead that top line yet again back to the front. And this time, though, he'll come to 2 to go.
5 miles remain. Down to the line. Ready to try this one more time and see where they end up. Again, this sets the lineup for the big race tomorrow night. A little shuffling inside and outside like they're in decks. From the top to the bottom, off that corner to the back straightaway, Dan West Jr. pushed below the double yellow line. You do not want to get to that part. And he just went from the penthouse to the outhouse, but he still, as long as he doesn't lose that pack, if you will, Alex, be out of the contention. But we are coming to CRN. 1 to go, this time by Garber up high. Marcy throws the block. Kynes in front of those drivers as they come to the line. Takes the white flag. The CRN 1 to go in Duel 1.
And here's where it's going to get interesting. Who wants to make the move? Who wants to start at least one spot, if not more than one spot, ahead of where they're running right now is the question be. As again, you look at it, Gamble, Vining, Bloom, Harris are your top four, and here comes the 125 of Carrillo. He's going to be the first one to try and go to the outside, but has no help with him here. So he's going to have to benefit on his own side draft possibly as he goes by Bloom. He gets one spot here, but now into the corner, he's going to have to get something or he is going to lose that spot as quickly as he took it. But now they will come to the checkered flag.
Gamble. He's going to hold them off to the line. Give him the duel. And Robert Gamble, the Team Aerokinetics entry that normally is one of those guys that just, you never know what kind of race he'll have. He is going to lock up duel number one. How about the Catman, James Vining, going to be least credited with a top five. Frank Harris and all these guys finishing there. 1, 2, 3. Chase Carrillo, Ryan Bloom. There's the lineup. So here you go. You've got at least Robert Gamble. We know, unless something is different, Alex, we'll start on the front row of inside row 2 for race tomorrow night. Actually, tonight, Eastern time, because it is 12:30. Whew. Are we going to do interviews now, or are we going to go for duel 2? Coming up next, duel number 2. All right, Alex, take a break. Let's give you your starting lineup for duel number 2. 30 laps, no fast repair on the pole. Lake Peterson of the number 9. He'll be on the pole. Wait a minute. Yeah. Does he in race 1? Okay, well, timing and scoring is all cattywampus. It'll reset. Lake Peterson and Dennis Moore on the front row for race number 1. Race 2. Justin Yee in the 64. Troy Daggett, the 99 to the outside. Row 2. Row 3. Jeff Stabnow, the 24. Stephen Paulison in that 58 machine. Row 4. Sean Brightsman, Chad Mallett. Top 10 will find the drivers of Ron Hunter, Dan Lowther. Row 6 on the grid. Going to be looking at Gary Nichols in the 8. Carl Burke. Row 7. Bryce Clark, Paul Newton Design, Road Course King. Ray Fournier, one of the dual winners of last year, along with Troy Daggett. And Roy Grande to the outside. Row number 9. Nobody. 16 drivers. Had 17 in race number 1, 16 in race number 2, and ready to see how this shakes up, Alex, here at Daytona for Duel 2. 30 laps, and the field will be set for tomorrow night's Daytona 200.
Leslie, we talked about it, and we saw it there with the move possibly that got him at least one more spot there. For these drivers, that it's their first appearance in the Northwest Truck Series, looking to make a name for themselves here. Could they possibly do it in the duel to start further up? And again, if they win a duel here in their first appearance in the Northwest Truck Series, that's a big momentum gain going into the kickoff tomorrow.
It will be. It certainly will be. It'll be fun to watch and see how all of this transpires for the second 30-lapper. Obviously, remember, no fast repairs. And we saw that calamity in duel number 1. I was kind of catching bits and pieces of it whenever we came back when I had the technical issues on the Wi-Fi side. But I was kind of watching, following. We'll see what happens here for the second 30-lapper. The field will be set for the Daytona 200. By the way, if there's anybody out there that are late bloomers that want to come in and join us tomorrow night, I think there's 10 spots available to try to have a 43 truck field. You have to be from the Northwest. Green is out. Duel number 2 is underway.
And again, you already see a lot of guys.
Go ahead.
A lot of guys going to the bottom already here, Wesley. That top side, there's not many in the top 10 that have went to the top line, but now here we go separating. But the top 3 have already pulled away a little bit more than expected.
Peterson pulling away quickly from Yee. Yee right there in tow. So is also Moore. He's right there under the inside of the racetrack, coming to the line. Already coming to the line, and believe it or not, they're going to put one lap on the board here. Clean and cream. All these guys stay in the pack.
At this point, we're
How
seeing
about that,
a lot
Alex?
more guys go to the bottom. We're seeing a lot go to the bottom
Yeah.
here this time in Duel 2 compared to Duel 1, where there was guys top, bottom, and there was possibly 1 or 2 that wanted to go up to the 3 lines, but then now it's one where your top 5 are all on the bottom side here in the opening laps.
Trying to make it where I believe there was going to be no pit stops in this race, unless obviously there's a lot of plethora of cautions and then they run out of tire wear and fuel, most importantly. So trying to make that. That's one of the things I know that Jeff with the Northwest Racing Series wanted to try to make, at least in the duels. I like the strategy of making them have to make a pit stop, but they wanted to make these programs go by faster. The Northwest Racing Series Season 11 fires off tomorrow night. Coverage begins on iRacing on LSRTV, CRN around 11 o'clock. Back straight away into turn number 3. It is Peterson, the leader. Inside, Yee, Moore will follow. They are all single file. Alex, nobody jumping out of line, and honestly, this is probably the smart thing to do right now, except for Justin Yee jumping out of the corner as they go to the outside into 1.
Yes, so again, now there's side by side here, 4 trucks up on the top side here in that front pack on the top side. But again, it's one of those where it only takes a few trucks on the top side to get even with your front lead pack on the bottom side here at Daytona. Same with Talladega, because again, we talked about it in qualifying. If you go up top, momentum builds a lot, especially then with the draft help. Momentum and draft helps a lot here, and that's why they're side by side here with only a few cars compared to that bottom side.
All in a nice pack with one another. Staying in line. Into turn number 2. 1 down to the bottom. Ron Hunter a little loose off the corner. In the apex, off the banking. He'll get back in tow. 5th in line to the bottom. Here comes Paul Newton with a dive to the inside from the top. And they'll go 2 by 2 again. Moore now, outside lane. Win Racing to the point as they work off the super stretch into 3, Alex.
Right now, Moore, Stabnow, Peterson, Breitzman, Yee, that is your top 5 here. And again, Stabnow and Breitzman on the top side. Now your new race leader here coming down into the trioval and to the start-finish line right now. Stabnow leading lap number 5 there. So Stabnow and Breitzman, 2 guys that we were talking about. Wesley, a lot of experience between the 2 of them here in the Northwest Truck Series.
Moore inside. Peterson, here comes Stabnow. Jeff Stabnow, the 24, on the outside, the all-time starter of the Series of the Northwest. Start number 429 tomorrow night. There's that LSRTV CRN Ford working off the corner. Breitzman right there in tow, teammates with one another. Ryan Bloom obviously was a contender from race number 1. And now we see what these guys can do with Stabnow, Moore, Breitzman, Yee, all in tow. And obviously, Alex, as we approach about 8 laps, 7 laps into it, you've got teammates right there with one another. Team LSRTV on the outside.
It'll be an interesting one here as the fastest truck in lap times is actually sitting in 14th, Wesley, and that is Paul Newton. 46.9 was the quickest time in this race so far, and he is, behind the pack a little bit here, just getting the draft. But again, when your truck's not overheating, you're just getting the line. It helps a little bit, and I saw that move there. That's a little bit of a questionable move, but it pays off.
Yeah, Lake Peterson made that diving move from the outside to the inside to the outside and got the clear in front of Stabnow, threw the block on Moore and Yee, made them check up. Somehow everybody was aware of it and held it together. Here they come. The virtual thundering herd of Daytona. The trucks come to the line. Season 11 fires up tomorrow night right here at the Daytona 200. 200 miles, 80 laps to open up the year. Peterson and Moore and Stabnow. Look at them right there, door to door. Everyone is in this dogfight there. Back into turn number 1, Alex.
And this one's getting a little feisty already here, and we haven't even hit the halfway point. Imagine when we get to about 10 to go, Wesley, it's going to get a lot more fierce, a lot more competitive, especially for someone like Yee that might want to start up front tomorrow and might not want any cars in front of him for that green flag.
Yeah, very valid point. They come thundering to the line here. About to put 1/3 of the distance in. Next time around, 10 down, 20 to go at the line. They go off into turn 1 here at Daytona. Gotta love this place. Anybody can win here. Obviously, the Daytona International Speedway, 2.5 miles in distance. You got those long straightaways, obviously. 4.2023 kilometers. 3.560 miles, kilometers, I meant to say. Watching all this going on, 4.023 kilometers is the big track here. They come off the corner. Obviously, the banking here at Daytona, very fun. 31 degrees of banking, that 3,000-foot backstretch known as a super stretch. The banking is 18 degrees in the tri-oval as they exit off of that, going back into turn number 1 now. Up that 31 degrees of banking, 40 feet wide racing, 12 to 30-foot apron. And you take every advantage, Alex, of the racetrack you can down the backstretch, 20 to go.
20 to go. Moore, Peterson, Yee, Stabnow, Daggett, your top 5 here. As Brightsman really the only one that has dropped, but did he really drop is the question, because he started 7th. He currently still sits in the 7th spot. But no real big movers and shakers here, as again, it's one of those of, it's a little bit of a feeling out process. We talked about in Duel 1. A lot of updates have happened since the championship night a few months ago. A lot of updates, a little bit to draft packages. You never know. So it's one of those, this is your shakedown, so you're not going in completely blind tomorrow night.
3 degrees on that back straightaway now as they work off of turn number 2. Down the back stretch again. They thunder. Still side by side in that tango high-speed pursuit of virtual man and machine. Into 3. Watching everybody still stay in tow, working off the corner. 18 at the line, closing in on the halfway mark. And you know, Alex Robinson, usually, and we've said this before, if the first duel is crazy, as you know all, the second one is usually calmer. If the first one's calmer, the second one is literally chaos and mayhem. Oh, and mind you, can I emphasize, it's a full moon outside.
No, full moon's tomorrow is what I was told. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. But what I was told is an eclipse tonight. It's a full moon tomorrow night.
I heard the eclipse is tomorrow, or Tuesday, I believe it is. Yeah. Charles, you know about lunar racing and full moon and Obviously, whoa, Peterson. A little wiggle there, right in front of Stab down quickly on the binders. Look at everybody. Respect one another. That's a nice way of saying it. Respect. Everybody literally was patient and backed away to make sure there wasn't any calamity. At least not right now. By the way, tomorrow night, iRacing on LSRTV will have coverage of what? The Full Throttle Cup Series, right? The Full Throttle Cup Series on a Monday night, and then the Northwest Racing Series. No way possible. I have Nazareth on Monday night. More inside.
Phone call tomorrow.
Well, I mean, you might, maybe. I don't know if it's Daytona for the Full Throttle Truck Cup Series. Look at them 3 wide, and look at Yee trying to block this lane 2, 3 lanes fast. As Peterson on the tailgate of Yee inside. More on the bottom. Plenty of room given. Daggett's on the inside. He won it last year. Ray Fournier right there too. Guys won the duels. Let's see what happens as they come to the line, Alex. We're coming to halfway. 15 down, 15 to go. And boy, Malik's getting a little antsy, and so is Hunter on the bottom.
Here's where it's going to get interesting. The first half, they've been fairly calm. I won't say fully calm. They're fairly calm. But now, here's where who wants to start on the front row comes into question, and who wants it more.
Man, it's literally when the iRacing flagman showed the cross flags to the field. It's like these guys have gone into stealth mode. They're in another orbit now. Watch them. Oh, here we go. Jumping 2 and 3 wide. Malik trying to battle the ladies on the inside behind the leaders of their door-to-door. 3 wide, 2, 3 rows deep behind Yee and Daggett at the stripe. And they are wrecking. You knew it was bound to happen. Trouble. Just shy of turn 1. The big one. Man. Alex, you knew it was going to take place. I mean, literally, you knew it was going to happen. They were all getting 3 wide, breaking out of line. Peterson up high, Daggett the monkey in the middle. Threading the middle was Ron Hunter, Malik, and they were making contact. And next thing you know, crash coming out of the tri-oval. Somebody zigged and zagged. Malik pulled up in front of Peterson, and all hell broke loose. Look at this. Man. Here's another look at it, Alex, and honestly, set it up for us, buddy. This is what happened coming off the back straightaway.
Hold on. Wesley, that's one of those that it happened real quick.
Yeah, I was about to say, where's your commentary at? He was just kind of just take it all in. Sometimes the picture's better than 1,000 words.
It was one of those where let's just watch it and let's just see again.
Unless you're in radio.
For you to watch it.
If you're in radio, you got to paint a picture into words. And we got to do that in radio as well. Remember, we're live on the radio as well as on LSRTV. We are CRN.com, 87.9 FM. So, literally, as I said, Alex, they're literally getting bunched up. They're breaking out of line. And I said this right before that accident took place. You could just feel the intensity pick up when they took the cross flags. And then they come back around the next lap and they're crashed.
Yeah, and it's one of those, we talked about it right when we said fairly calm halfway. What's going to happen the second half of this race? and who wants it more. And again, this one, it happened a lot sooner than the last one. The last one was with 10 to go, under 10 to go, when chaos struck. This one, halfway came, and we were like, let's go 3 wide here, and competition got fierce quick.
Caution out. Everybody getting in line here. Obviously, we see Troy Daggett, the One Fine Studios, Toyota, number 99, up in front. And Alex, he's going to try to win the duel again. He won it last year. We'll see what he can do in the 99. Probably one of the highlights of his season last year was winning the duels at Daytona. I say that
here's
nicely.
where it comes in. You look at the guys who have now made big moves in this one. You have Ron Hunter up 7, Carl Burke up 8, Paul Newton up 9. Remember, Paul Newton has set the quickest time of the night in this race, and now he's up into a top 10 spot, top 5 spot nonetheless. So now it's one of those of what else can he do?
Charles, let's check in with you, producer, director, pitman, stat guy extraordinaire of the Northeast. And, man, what's your take of these duels? Kind of quiet, obviously. We've had a couple of big wrecks at least in the 2 duel races. But for the most part, everybody's just kind of lying in the weeds, just kind of figuring their trucks out.
Yeah, they've had a very calm race, and I'm thankful for that because I'm actually putting in foam around my studio right now. That soundproof stuff or sound foam to get rid of some reverb and get things prepped for bringing back the podcast. So it's been a nice calm race. I'm pulling a little double duty when we're doing work in the studio here while we race.
So the Press Box Motorsports podcast coming back?
Well, I don't know if the name is going to change or not, and that really comes down to whether or not I can find the logo in all my files. So, yes, when something's coming back, we'll be determined what and who the hosts are. Other than myself, I want to pretty much have weekly host. The same one, so we'll see how that all goes and what happens.
There you go. Well, the lights are off on the pace car. We'll set up for the race start. Hopefully you have static cams for tomorrow night. Always enjoyed the static cams. Well, how about it? Let's set it up and do it. Well, only 15 under 10 to go. Hey, let's do something real quickly before we come back for the restart. Let's pause for 10 seconds of network identification on the Community Radio Network.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Got the 10-second network ID out of the way as we're approaching the top of the hour on CRN. And we've got 10 laps to go. Welcome back to Virtual Daytona. About to put a wrap on tonight's qualifications and duels for the Daytona 200 tomorrow night. Alex Robinson, Charles Wooten, I'm Wesley Outland. And same old song and dance. Second verse, same as the first. Hey, Rob, here comes Daggett to the bottom. Everyone else on the outside, and they're crashing again into the wall. Ray 48 as wrecked. Carl Burke wrecked. Oh, man. Did Peterson get a piece of it, too?
Paul Newton, I think, was involved as well.
Oh, here's a replay. Oh, man. Come on, guys. What you got for us, Alex?
I caught the end of it, so let me look at this first. You see the line changes, and it's
Newton
was
in the
one
wall.
of those. Wesley, we
Man.
talked about it. It's one of those of just a little bump the wrong way, depending on how you caught him on the back bumper,
Yeah.
and he just goes around.
A heartbreak. There's another look at it. There's Troy Daggett. The Carhartt One Fine Studios Toyota up in front. Remember, and Alex, that's something that we're going to really keep an eye on for sure tomorrow night. There's no fast repairs in this series now. What kind of driving are we going to see out here because of that?
I think it's one of those where they're going to be conservative the first, 100 miles. We'll go with 100. Once it gets to that second half of the race is when it's going to get antsy, and we're going to go, foot to the floor, hard nose, either. And the greatest line, I think, came from this year. I am not lifting until I see Jesus or the checkered flag.
And my good friend Andy Jankowiak, the Buffalo Missile from Tonawanda, New York, gave us that famous line in the overtime finish in Daytona's ARCA race, by the way. That was the ARCA race at Daytona. But I love it. I guess you could say that in real life or virtual as well. Don't forget, keep up with the... Oh, we got an update before the finish. Let's go back down to Charles. Charles, what you got?
So I did some research, and after all my research, I'm still as dumb as I thought I was. I don't believe, to my knowledge, this was from our days doing the Sim Racer Hub. They had to turn off green, white checkers because you couldn't do them in heat races, only main races. While this is a duel, it's technically listed as 2 Heat Race 1 and Heat Race 2. So I do not believe we will have a green, white checkered attempt if it comes to that. Again, this is napkin math speculation based on past experience. I know they've set them up that way, but I do not believe you can do them. That would be only for the feature or the actual race, which we're not doing. That's going to be tomorrow night.
Thank you for that valid point. Thank you. Back to eating candy. Back to putting up padding in his room. Soundproof room. Hey, another series is back and doing bigger and better than ever. It's the Dirt Car Racing Comp Cams Super Dirt Series. Yes, Dirt Car World Racing Group involved. Next big event's April 5th and 6th. By the way, that is 2 weeks from Friday and Saturday. The cow patty is one of the races. Boy, broadcast coverage on Race On, presented by Day Motorsports. And we'll get ready for the restart. Alex Robinson, do you think they are done crashing yet?
Well, Wesley, apparently it's full moon tonight, so who knows? In the words of Wesley Outland, tonight's full moon, so I'm going to remind him tomorrow when it actually is full moon that this is why we don't talk about full moons, just like we don't talk about when we race on Friday the 13th.
It was a full moon last night. It was a full moon last night, dude. At County Line Raceway was a full moon.
It's one of those of it's like he who shall not be named, Wesley. We don't talk about those things.
I'm sorry. Well, I am the person that he or she that tells the truth. I'll say what other people are afraid to say. Virtual full moon. Do what? You should never do that. Never mix your colors with your whites. Never do that when it comes to laundry. when it comes to laundry. Yeah.
I throw all my laundry in at the same time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh. You must not care about your clothes like we do, right?
I don't wear. I'm about to say I don't wear white clothing often.
Oh my goodness. Let's try this again, shall we? It will be. Yeah, I am wearing my NASCAR. Actually, it's my Columbia shirt. Actually, let's try this again. Shootout time with 6 laps to go here at. Not that kind of Columbia, Charles. It was go back to restart. Oh, he scares me, Alex. Let's go back to the restart. This is the first race of the year. This isn't even the first race of the year. This is preliminary night. It's going to be a long year. Dagging up in front.
Wesley over here talking about this is the first night he left me on a super speedway by myself with Charles Luke, and we're doing it again.
Down to the bottom. Winner last year. 48 goes around. Clark got collected. And somehow they still stay in line. No Banana Republic flag. If you don't know that color, it is yellow. 5 to go here at Daytona.
Wesley, why do you gotta mention the flag? Just don't mention it. We're still green. We're clean. We're green. Let's keep going. Daggett still leads. But now there's a handful of different names.
Oh. Who the hell said something about pink underwear? Oh, if you mix your colors with your whites, yes, you're exactly right, RGL. And he agrees there's a full moon outside, all right? There's a bad moon on the rise. Look at this now. Trying to thread the needle. Ron Hunter trying to put the front end of the truck where a place that it don't belong. In the middle. Trying to thread them. Can he get there? Daggett on the bottom. Up top side, Paulison. Hunter will follow. And there's Lowther. 4 to go at Daytona. 10 miles to the run down to Duel 2.
And Wesley, remember, there's one thing you said during qualifying, and it's so true. There's one thing that's open 24 hours. That is Taco Bell. And that Taco Bell truck is in 4th place right now, the 11th of Roy Grande Jr. He is up to 4th, plus 12 spots for Roy Grande Jr. As again, keep an eye on that Taco Bell truck, because who's pushing him? Sean Brightsman in the 46.
And Sean Brightsman really doesn't have any friends because obviously, you know, Jeff Stabnow came out. He's on pit road. Everybody's staying in tow. Here they come inside. Daggett on the bottom. Hunter is there. Lowther. Take a listen. Just that fast. They're done. 3 to go at the line. Here they come. 3 laps to go. Pick your little members of what? 8 in a pack, because I think there's 8 drivers right there in that draft. That's it, Alex, to fight it out. Okay, I'm being gracious. 9 or 10. Woo!
9 cars into the front pack here, as it's going to come down to this. And Wesley, the question of it will be, who makes the pivotal move for the win now? Daggett, Hunter, Paulson again.
Brightsman tried to go 3 wide. You mentioned pivotal move. Brightsman said, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you, A-Rob. Here comes also Dennis Moore to the outside. Can they get something going? 2 to go. Penultimate lap in Duel 2.
Yep. We had about 4 cars on the bottom side, but now we have 3 on the bottom side as White Grande. He's going to join the bottom side. Brightsman, it looks like, will join the bottom as well here. So again, it's time to look who is going to go and try and make a move here. Who's going to possibly try and block is the question that will have to be answered, because the white flag will be in the air here, Wesley, one more time around the super speedway.
Bobbing, weaving like rag dolls, virtually coming to the strike. The white flag in the air. The CRN 1 to go. I'll set it up for you in the final corner. Here we go. Daggett to the bottom. And Nichols and Lowther are crashing. They took the white flag. Dennis Moore is in the fence. They race on. Lap traffic up ahead. Daggett from the top to the bottom, passing Clark. Hunter right there on the tailgate. Down into turn number 3. To the inside. They keep in line, keep in tow. These two trucks. Here comes Taco Man. Roy Grande. Can he get there? No, he cannot. Hunter can't jump out of line. 2 years in a row. Troy Daggett will start 4th in the Daytona 200, and he gets turned by one of his teammates on the cool-down lap, going into 1 in the flat. Troy Daggett, Carhartt 99, winner 2 years in a row of the Duels at Daytona, Alex Robinson.
And what a finish. You can't go without saying there was that move that possibly could have made it. Roy Grande almost passes Ron Hunter for the 2nd spot in the finish, but will not get there. And it's Daggett, Hunter, Grande Jr., and Paulison, your top 4.
Amazing.
With Justin Yee rounding out the top 5 as of right now. Again, that's unofficial, as that is your top 5 here in duel number 2. And there it is, Daggett, your winner. Ron Hunter in 2nd, Roy Grande in the 3rd spot, Stephen Paulison 4th, Justin Yee, your top 5, then Sean Breitzman, Dan Lowther, Ray Fournier, Blake Peterson, and Gary Nichols, your top 10.
Moore, Dennis Moore, Bryce Clark, Jeff Stabnow, Carl Burke, Paul Newton, Chad Malik, some shape or form crashed out at the conclusion of Duel 2. Coming up, it is the post-race wrap-up here on LSRTV and CRN. We are going to grab the drivers, at least the winners of Duel number 1 and 2, and we will set the stage for tomorrow night. If you're in the East Coast, it is tonight. The Daytona 200 iRacing on LSRTV, CRN, tomorrow night from the Virtual World Center of Racing. Daytona, the duels are done. The field is set, and we are back in a moment. Preliminary night in the books. The field is set for the 11th running of the Daytona 200. Welcome back to the virtual world center of racing. iRacing on LSRTV. CRN Alex Robinson has parted for the night. Thank you for him joining us on the call. Jason Rockefeller will be on the call with us tomorrow. All right, so let's go back to Duel 1. Robert Gamble, you are the man that gets it done. Your take of obviously the race. I know there was a big wreck. You think we're going to see this tomorrow night?
Oh, yeah, it's Daytona. You know, there's going to be wrecks, there's going to be calamity, and then, you know, it's like no other race, this in Talladega. It's just, you know, hang on to it.
But you do get a preliminary win. Obviously, it's not a points win, but it's got to be bragging rights for sure about what you were able to do, to start the season.
Oh, yeah, no, this is great. I will take it. This is a fun league and a tough league, and there's a lot of good racers here, so it's good to get that win to start the season. Heck yeah.
Well, brother, before we let you go, why don't you thank your sponsors, man? We'll see how it all goes down tomorrow night for you. You'll be starting in the third spot, too, in the race.
Just thanks my teammates that were right behind me, James and Frank, and thank my mom for watching. So, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
There you go. There's Robert Gamble, the 54. He finishes in Duel number 1. That's the winner. Let's go to the Catman. By the way, here's something to think about. All 3 drivers that we have in post-race of Duel 1 are all teammates as well. The Catman, James Vining. Why the number change, James? 333 to 321. What's going on?
During the off season, when Ray was doing some of the races, I was just playing around with it, and I totally forgot until I logged in, seen it. I was like, oh no. So I went to change it, and it didn't update. But it will be updated tomorrow. It's all put back to normal.
All right, there you go. Well, I mean, I thought it looked cool. It might work for you. You finished second. What's your take of the duel?
Oh, I had a blast. And I'm not very good at the super speedway stuff, but
yeah.
Getting behind Rob, and then I also changed my in the cab of the truck where I sit, so I'm a little bit farther forward, which really helps. So yeah, that you know what, I was wondering, since we have a 33, should I keep the number 321?
I mean, you could be 333. I mean, listen, if you're superstitious and under a full moon virtually, you finished in the podium spot, nothing wrong with silver, maybe you need to keep the 321. 321, 123, what the heck is wrong with me, right?
Well, I just figured it'd be easier for you guys, and get a 33, and then instead of going 333,
yeah, 123.
No,
hey, at least in some shape or form, you'll finish on the podium, first, second, or third. Right?
True. Right.
Got any sponsors you want to thank, James? Good look forward this year.
Just actually, you guys, Jeff, and everybody in Northwest. Actually, Ace Sim Sports, they've hooked me up with some stuff. And then I do have another sponsor, but I got to get the name to you guys and let you know if you can even put it over the air. Because it's some stuff I use for my glasses. But I'll get with you guys for tomorrow before the race.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. There's the thoughts of Vining finishing in second, 321. And Frank Harris, man, one of the guys here, long-time runner in the series, got himself a good podium, top 3 for preliminary night at Daytona. Frank Harris, it's got to be like a win for you, man. It's got to be a big boost to start the season in the 11.
Yeah, it was a big boost, all right. I'll tell you what. I had a lot of issues going on. You guys wouldn't believe it. But first...
Sound like me.
First, yeah, I ended up running the race with my qualifying setup. That sucked.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I had to back off the gas, get some air into the engine many times throughout that race. I pulled down a little bit, hoping that the guy behind me, left me a little bit of space so I can get back into line, because I let them know that I was overheating, and so that was the first issue. My second issue is the Oculus decided that it wanted to unlock. So when the Oculus gets unlocked, your screen kind of bounces with your head, and if you move your head like to look up or to look off to the side, the Oculus, the screen of the Oculus kind of bounces. You know, you don't lose your place in the game, but it's kind of weirded out, bouncy, being unlocked like that. And so under that first caution, I came in, I locked the Oculus. I was able to like put it to sleep and then wake it back up again, and usually it locks. But got back out there just before the green, or just right after the green flag fell again, it decided to unlock. So I had to sit there the rest of the race and hold my head really still so that I knew where I was at on the track. Because if I started bouncing my head left or right or up and down, just the slightest bit, I would just lose my orientation to the track and end up wrecking a bunch of people. And so I was sitting there with my head really still, and going into the corners, I like to lean, so I had to not lean too. Oh, it was crazy, but it was a fun race. It was a great race. I'm glad our teammates finished 1, 2, 3. And then on the second one, Steve and Roy Grande did really, really good. So, yeah, we're going to be right up front with these guys and hopefully stay out of the carnage in the middle of the pack. I will. Yeah, like Rob said, man, it's Daytona. Anything can happen. As you saw, the people up front, or the people that we were racing with, moved up and then wanted to move down, and somehow they got collected. And so it doesn't matter if you're up front or in the back. It's Daytona, baby.
It certainly is, man. Obviously, you know, and you got yourself a pretty good starting spot from this event. You'll start in the, 7th position. You know, what's your take of having a good, solid top 5 or top 10 start, and possibly a chance to try to win this thing if you can be strategic tomorrow night?
We're just running with my teammates and hopefully staying up front. We're going to try to dominate the race there with all of us running up front like that, and we'll find our other teammates, you know, Steve and Roy, and we'll all get together and hopefully we'll dominate the race. Our whole team. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. You got any sponsors?
Yes, I'd like to thank Cascade Quakes and Jeff for putting this back on. It was a long season off, and I'll tell you what, I was ready to race when Daytona started back up again. I get excited for racing. And I'd like to thank the Oregon Ducks, you know, Go Ducks. You guys did a phenomenal job this last year, and hopefully they'll keep it up. And LSRTV for sponsoring us. And Northwest Racing Series, all the guys on there, you guys are fantastic. Keep it up, and we'll have a good race this season, I think.
Watching some live feed, I believe, of somebody out there practicing or qualifying. I believe it's Clifford Toby Ritters that's out there on the racetrack. Yeah, Toby or somebody. Russ Lundberg, I think, was out there getting his shakedown as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, Robert Gamble, James Vining, Frank Harris, top 3 of duel number 1. Let's go now to duel number 2. Grab the podium before we sign off. And Troy Daggett, another year that you win the duels. What is about this thing, these preliminary races, where everything just works out for you? And could it possibly be a way where it'll work out this regular season for you to win the big show tomorrow? Congrats.
Thank you for the congratulations. Yeah, I don't know about these preliminary races. Just find the magic avoiding that wreck. And I had some great my teammate Ron Humber behind me. It was a great help, and I'm just hoping this year will be a lot better than last year in the Daytona race. I think last year I got wrecked out, so hopefully get up there and win the race this year.
What do you think we're going to see tomorrow night? Do you think we're going to see a lot more calamity? And by the way, are the races different, Troy, with competing, knowing there's not a fast repair on the line?
I would like to say it was different, but we were too wide that whole entire time. I thought we'd hopefully get singled out and log some laps off, and with probably about a few laps to go, like 5 to go, hopefully start going double file. But it seems like everyone wanted to go and run too wide, and I just wanted to stay on the bottom to avoid the carnage. I think if you're in the high line, you're kind of trapped, car to the pie. If you're in the low line, you have a better chance of avoiding it and not getting damage. And because you don't have a fast spread this year, you got to be more strategic.
All right, buddy. Well, I'll tell you what, before I let you go and you thank your sponsors, Troy, what are things that you've done during the off season to obviously better your iRacing virtual experience? And are we going to see you give it a go for a championship of the Northwest this year as well as tomorrow night at Daytona?
Oh yeah, I'm going to try and give a shot in the Northwest here, but I know a lot of my wins are going to come on the bigger restricted plate tracks for me. Over this winter, I ran a street stock league and raced in that. Dan Lather hosted a late model stock league. We did some short track racing, which is a lot of fun. And I also joined another league that runs on Tuesday nights, truck series, fix that up, and been running that. But on the sponsorship note, I'd like to thank my wife Michelle, my kids Megan, Sadie, for letting me race here on these weeknights. My teammates Ron Hunter for giving me a great push to the line there, and Dan Lather, he was there behind us, but got caught in that last wreck. I also like to thank you guys, LSRTV, CRN, Jeff and Sean for putting the league on, and 1-5 Studios for the paint job.
We'll see what the big man, Troy Daggett, will be able to do tomorrow night, no doubt, obviously, for another year. The winner here of Duel number 2 at Daytona in preparation for tomorrow night's Daytona 200. Obviously, the man from Washington State. There you go. Let's grab the man in second. Ron Hunter. Ron, this has got to be like a win for you, chatting with guys like Vinan and Harris. Second place behind Daggett. A lot of calamity over there. What's your take of surviving it? And man, could I know I've seen you in a lot of other iRacing events that I've broadcasted, not just on LSRTV, but throughout the entire iRacing server over the winter months leading up to the Northwest Racing Series. Do you feel like the seat time that you have had can get yourself prepared for a great season in the Northwest beginning tonight at Daytona?
Yeah, 100%. I enjoy running with the teams that I'm running, but I've been running a lot of different leagues,
right?
A lot of different stuff, trying to get some seat time, like you said. I've got great teammates: Chris Kynes, Tyler Kim, Dan Lowther, Troy Daggett. That when we get to these big tracks where you need a teammate, I know I can count on them.
That's got to make you feel good, doesn't it? I mean, definitely. I mean, it seems like you've got to have friends. I kind of laugh at what Robert Gamble said in the chat box at one time, because he said, Sean Brightsman has a lot of friends. It seemed like at the end of Duel number 2, he was kind of by himself through to the wolves. He might have friends off the track, but on the track, it was kind of every man for himself. Ron, do you think we'll see that tomorrow night, and where do you stack up with allies and foes?
Yeah, 100%. I think you have to have friends at these restrictor plate tracks. Troy Daggett's a good friend of mine. I could have tried to make a move at the end, but it doesn't give me anything tonight. Tomorrow night, coming to the checker, maybe I make a different move, but I'm pushing my friend to the win.
Pushing your friend to the win, no doubt, obviously. Got to ask you a final question, segue that into thanking your sponsors. Do you think we're going to see this kind of craziness tomorrow night in the big show like we saw in the Duels?
You know, I think the first couple of weeks, not having a fast repair is going to make a big difference.
Sure.
Because people have to make a choice. They're going to do something stupid, but I don't know. Right now, I think Daytona, everybody goes for it. We're going to have a good time. It'll be a good time. For my sponsors, I want to thank Carissa Smith's School of Lyrics and Notation, Team Ramrod, Captain Jim's Shrimp Shack Shooters, and I think that's it for now.
Here's the thoughts of the man that resides out of Spokane, Washington. Spokane, Washington. Ron Hunter. We'll see what
Good
he can do. He
correction,
is
Spokane, Washington.
Yeah, man, that broadcast school paid off there, my friend. Spokane, Washington. Ron Hunter, and hopefully the Hunter Performance number 30 will have a good showing. Not only tomorrow night of the Daytona 200, but throughout the season. There you go. He finishes in the second spot. We'll grab now the third place man, and that is the driver, I believe, from Grand Junction, though, if I've got it correct. Aerokinetics teammates right there. Man, what's your take of this race, Roy Grande? And if you got some Taco Bell for celebration, bring me some virtual Mexican pizza while you're at it. I love those things.
All right. Yeah, maybe Taco Bell tomorrow. It was pretty uneventful for me. I was just riding around the back to that first wreck, and the seas parted, and I think I might have had my eyes closed through that, but I made it through and wound up towards the front.
I'll tell you what, you kind of elaborated that the basically race was kind of quiet. Do you feel like you set yourself up to be that way because you wasn't the aggressor or the aggressive person on the racetrack? And do you feel like that's the way the outcome was for you, even though other people had a ladder?
Oh yeah, that tends to be my MO, is taking it easy, pride myself on clean racing, minus the mistakes here and there. Yeah, I think being conservative and basically just waiting for something to happen worked out for me.
Well, but I'll tell you what, obviously, pretty cool to see Team Aerokinetics, Robert Gamble up there with a win. Obviously, you're all teammates and partners. What a good, solid run for Team Aerokinetics. Do you think that's going to be a threat to watching the race tomorrow night for the Daytona 200?
I hope so, yeah. I don't have the best track record on super speedways, but, good things can happen like today. Definitely need some luck in order for you to finish well at Daytona.
No doubt about it, man. Hey, listen, before we let you go, thank your sponsors. We'll see you tomorrow night. Big show tomorrow.
Yeah, shout out to the Aerokinetics race team. Aerokinetics.racing if you're looking for yourself an iRacing team. Of course, you guys, LSRTV, for putting on an awesome show. The Northwest admins, they run a good, tight ship. And, of course, the always delicious Taco Bell.
Yes, ole, my friend. Grand Junction, Colorado. That is the man right there. Of course, of Roy Grande. He'll finish in the third spot on the podium. And those drivers from race number 2 will start, 4, 6, and 8 for the races. 3, 5, 7 for the drivers from the inside row of Duel 1. Outside Duel 2, outside row, will be 4, 6, and 8 for the first 3 rows after the front row set by qualifying. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to set it up and close it for tonight. We hope you enjoyed a Sunday special preliminary qualifying and the duels at the Virtual World Center of Racing. Great pages of racing history, virtual and reality, are being written in 2024. And the new chapter for the Northwest Racing Series in 2024 begins tomorrow night with the Daytona 200. For everybody at Rocket Racing Media, CRN LLC Esports, of course, for Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, in the box, Alex Robinson, I'm Wesley Outland. Good night from Daytona. We'll crown the winner.